Taylor Swift, The Complete Story. Early life and childhood. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in West Reading, Pennsylvania, USA. She grew up in a supportive family. Her father worked in finance, and her mother had a background in marketing. From early childhood, Taylor showed a strong interest in music, storytelling, and performance. As a young girl, she loved poetry and began writing her own stories and lyrics. She learned to play the acoustic guitar at a very young age, and that instrument became the foundation of her songwriting career. Taylor often performed at local events, fairs, and small shows, gaining confidence on stage long before becoming famous. By her early teens, it became clear that her passion for music was more than a hobby. It was a calling. The move to Nashville and career beginnings. At just 14 years old, Taylor and her family made a life-changing decision. They moved to Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of country music. This move allowed her to pursue songwriting professionally. Taylor spent years writing songs, attending meetings with music executives, and performing wherever she could. She eventually signed a record deal and became one of the youngest songwriters in Nashville at the time. Her debut single, Tim McGraw, introduced her to the public. The song immediately showed her unique strength. Deeply personal lyrics, combined with simple but emotional melodies. Debut album and early success. In 2006, Taylor released her first album, Taylor Swift. She was only 16 years old. The album blended traditional country music with pop storytelling and resonated strongly with teenagers and young adults. Songs like Teardrops on My Guitar and Our Song became major hits. What set Taylor apart early on was that she wrote or co-wrote her own songs, something rare for artists her age. Her honesty and emotional vulnerability quickly built a loyal fan base. Breakthrough with Fearless. Taylor's career reached a new level in 2008 with the release of Fearless. This album transformed her from a rising star into a global phenomenon. Songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me dominated radio, charts, and pop culture. Fearless became one of the most successful albums of its era and earned Taylor her first Grammy Award for Album of the Year, making her one of the youngest artists ever to win that honor. Artistic growth and songwriting power. In 2010, Taylor released Speak Now, an album written entirely by herself. This project proved that she was not just a performer, but a serious songwriter capable of crafting complex, emotional narratives. 2 years later came Red in 2012, an album that explored heartbreak, passion, and emotional chaos. It marked her transition toward pop music while still maintaining her country roots. The hit We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together became her first #1 pop single. Global pop icon. 1989. In 2014, Taylor fully reinvented herself with the album 1989. Named after her birth year, it was a complete shift into pop music. This album included massive hits like Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Style. 1989 was a cultural moment. It dominated charts worldwide and won Grammy Album of the Year, making Taylor one of the most powerful figures in modern pop music. Reputation and reinvention. By 2017, Taylor faced intense media scrutiny and public controversy. Instead of retreating, she responded artistically with the album Reputation. This album featured darker themes, electronic sounds, and a bold image transformation. It became the best-selling album of the year, proving her ability to reinvent herself while staying successful. Ownership, battle, and re-recordings. One of the most important moments in Taylor's career came when she lost ownership of her early music catalog. Instead of accepting this, she made a historic decision. She began re-recording her first 6 albums, releasing them as Taylor's version. This move was revolutionary in the music industry and gave her full control over her work again. Fans strongly supported this decision, making the re-recorded albums massive successes: Artistic Maturity, Folklore, and Evermore. In 2020, Taylor surprised the world by releasing Folklore and later Evermore. These albums featured softer indie folk sounds and fictional storytelling rather than autobiographical pop songs. They were praised for their depth, lyricism, and emotional subtlety. Folklore earned her another Grammy for Album of the Year, making her one of the most awarded artists in Grammy history. Midnights and Modern Era. In 2022, Taylor released Midnights, an album inspired by sleepless nights, inner thoughts, and self-reflection. It combined modern pop with emotional honesty and became one of the most successful albums of the decade. In 2024, she released The Tortured Poets Department, a deeply poetic and emotionally intense project that explored heartbreak, healing, and artistic identity. The Eras Tour and Cultural Impact. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour became the highest-grossing concert tour in music history, celebrating every phase of her career. Beyond music, Taylor has influenced artist rights and music ownership, fan culture and storytelling, modern songwriting standards, global pop culture. She has won dozens of major awards, sold hundreds of millions of records, and is considered one of the most influential artists of all time. Legacy Taylor Swift is more than a singer. She is a songwriter, storyteller, businesswoman, and cultural icon. Her career is a story of growth, resilience, creativity, and reinvention. A journey from a small-town girl with a guitar to one of the most powerful voices in global music history.